That's not disturbed.
That's for sync.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah. What's up, everyone? My name is Pi,
And I'm Justin.
and welcome to Gear Talk here on SLR Lounge. Now, we have a little bit of a detour in this episode. Normally, Joe Chow, my co-host, is sitting here, but today we have my business partner, Justin Lin, actually sitting in, and Joe's behind the camera today. Say hi, Joe, from behind the camera.
Hi, Joe.
That's his hand.
And that was his voice.
Something like that. Anyway, Justin, well, aside from doing all of the, you don't see his face that much because he's working on the entire website. He's doing like all the stuff behind the scenes, keeping the business running, and shooting a ton.
Yep.
So,
doing it.
But I keep bugging him. He's got to get more in front of the camera because it's awesome.
I'll
to have him
try.
in front of the
I'll
camera.
try. Pi's pretty good, though. I don't think you need me.
Now, for today, though, we have a special episode because you just got back from
Africa?
Africa. Where in Africa?
We went to 3 different countries. We went to Kenya,
Okay.
Botswana, and Zambia. Yeah,
Zambia.
or Zimbabwe. Same area. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and basically on the trip, you took out your 5D Mark III. You took the new Sigma 120 to 300 that we got.
Wanted to test that baby out.
And along with some other gear and shot out there. And I mean, it was just an incredible, when I saw the images, I'm like, we need to show these images. We need to show what you did out there.
Well, I don't
and
know
kind
if
of
they're
what
that
you learned.
good. You're hyping it up a little bit, but
Well,
they're all right. They're pretty good.
All right. So when you got back from the trip, I had a chance to kind of just go through the photos, and I thought they were awesome. What you had a chance to see, what you captured, and just the overall experience. So I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of talk about that, and also bring in kind of the gear into it and what just
Yeah,
how
it is a
went
gear talk
with the
after
gear.
all. So,
It is gear
yeah,
talk.
We should talk about the gear.
So let's first talk about the experience, though. I want to talk about the
Okay.
experience.
No, it's definitely
was it
once.
like?
It's definitely once in a lifetime. It's something that I think everyone needs to do. Every photographer has to do at least once in their lifetime. Just so amazing to see the animals in the wild. To be like a guest in their environment. It's just such a amazing visceral experience. Like being out there and seeing all the animals.
Do you have any close calls?
You know what? Like, I wish we did. Honestly, I wish we did, but we didn't. Like, I wanted, it was pretty funny. We really wanted to see blood. We wanted to see the hunts, It was, that's what you go out there to see, Like,
No, but you wanted to see a lion.
yeah, you want to see like a hunt. You want to
Attacking
see, oh
and-
yeah, that'd be amazing.
But you guys did see, there was an incredible image that I saw of a lion chasing like a herd of...
Yeah, but the lions in that area were too well fed. They're lazy. They ran for like 10 feet and they gave up. And But it was a cool photo with the wildebeest running across and all that. And so it was a good photo op.
That's awesome. Well, this
Yeah.
was a trip planned by your wife, actually, because she's
It's been her dream.
she's a huge animal
Yeah.
lover and just wanted to go out and see that.
Yeah.
But as far as the other side, like the human side, I know when you came back, you had kind of a new appreciation also of just
No,
what
for
we
sure.
have.
No, for sure. And talking to the locals there, they make average, $3 a day. It really makes you appreciate what you have. We totally take that for granted, So
It's a pretty fantastic experience. After
Yeah.
hearing you and seeing you go on this trip, I've wanted to go myself as well.
oh yeah.
Although, yes, it always scares me being in places like that. And the lack of bathrooms.
It's fun. No, yeah. We won't talk about that. I don't think
Okay.
no one knows about that, right? Okay, well we'll stop it.
So, okay, this is gear talk now. So why don't we actually talk about gear?
Yeah.
You had a chance to, you came back with thousands and thousands of images.
8,560 something to be exact. Yeah.
So good thing you're not shooting film, right? No. It might have been
no,
a
it would
lot
have doubled the cost of my trip.
Yeah. So your main camera, I know we have a 60 on the table, but your main camera
Is my trusty old 5D3 used.
And the primary lens that you took out was the Sigma, right? Or
Yeah.
And then you also had the extenders.
Couple extenders, yeah.
Okay.
Just want to test them out. Because we did the Lens War series where we tested out all the different lenses and all that, and
Yeah.
I really wanted to try this out. This was just newly released, and the fact that you have the ability to zoom from 120 to 300, that is 180 millimeters of
Yeah.
distance. That's huge, and gives you a lot of variety, in your shots and all that. So yeah, I really wanted to try it out.
Okay, so let's talk first of all about basically the stabilization of the
Okay.
lens. That was one thing that I know when I've shot on that lens, it was a little bit difficult because hand holding it, it's weighty, and
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
got a little bit bigger muscles than me.
No, I don't know about that. Like, you've been lifting. And look at those guns, man. Jeez.
I don't have anything. But even holding that thing up was pretty difficult for any period of time. I mean, you're talking with the camera on there, getting close to 10 pounds of overall weight. I think the lens itself is like 7.5.
Yep.
Plus
Yep.
your body.
Uh-huh.
And if you have a monopod, well, obviously, if you have a monopod, it's helping you out. But
Oh yeah.
were you hand holding most of the time?
You know, I really didn't handhold that much. I tried to stabilize as much as possible, just because, you know, sometimes I'd be using the 2x adapter, zooming at 600, and any little slight movement, you know, you just don't want to risk it.
Yeah,
And so
What were you typically using to stabilize then?
we had this awesome little setup here from Me Photo where you could actually, it's a tripod / monopod thing.
Uh-huh.
And it was great because, you know, at night you want to do long exposures with your tripod, you know, get the stars and all that. But then during the day you could just flip it and switch it into a monopod. And this is what I was
Okay.
using mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, this is interesting. So you had the Me Photo, but then you popped on the S2 Benro head.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's a nice, like, you know, it's the video panning. It has that fluid motion, you know, so
Yeah,
it's really,
yeah.
really nice. And yeah,
interesting.
I had a great time using it.
Okay, cool. So that was the majority of the time you're shooting. Yeah, when I was hand holding, I had to at least put it on a monopod. When
Yeah.
I literally, like, you'd expect that you'd be able to pop off a few shots handheld, but it's like within a minute, I'm already
Yeah.
like feeling it.
No, for sure.
So
Well, I mean, one thing that's nice is you have the, you know, the Jeep Safari, like the Jeeps that you're actually in, they have a lot of roll bars, and you know, you can just actually just lay it on that anytime you really wanted to as well. So you didn't always have to use the monopod. I wanted to just because, you know, I wanted varying heights and, you know,
Yeah.
different angles and whatnot. I also saw something pretty cool out there, like, you know, you know, a lot of people use bean bags. They just sit up on top of the roll bar. I saw this guy. He actually used one where you screw it into the bottom of the where the tripod mount goes. You know?
really,
Yeah.
a beanbag.
Yeah, it's a little bean bag. Yeah, I can't remember the brand of it, but yeah.
What other like were they mounting it to the roll bar or were
Yeah,
they?
so you would see, you know, a lot of those roll bar mounts, tripod mounts, and you know, you'd see the people that've been on safaris, you know, several times. They would rent their own Jeep, and then they would have mounts all over the rail bars.
Interesting.
And they just leave, you know, they have their lenses attached up there, you know, and they could just pop quickly back and forth through all of them. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I didn't feel like that was, you know, that was necessary. You know?
Yeah.
So the monopod was like just perfectly enough, and it didn't have to be straight up and down either, you know, because a lot of times you're sitting down, it's hard to get the perfect height on it and adjust it up and down. So sometimes I would just tilt it a little bit, you know, and just let it rest against my leg, and that was totally fine. You
Yeah.
know? You get tack sharp images that way too. So you just need like a little bit additional help. It's mainly just the weight
Yeah.
it gets to. You know, you can't hold it for that long.
No, that's what I was
So-
using too. Like when we were shooting in the desert, the monopod was kind of the go-to as far as just
When you just need a little
versatility.
bit.
You just need a
Yeah.
little bit of support.
Yeah.
Just get that weight off your hand. So let's talk about quality now. What did you feel like? Just not talking about any extenders yet, but just the actual quality of the lens.
It was so I was blown away. It was tack sharp. You know, I mean, we've shot with the 300. You know,
300 f2.8.
yeah, Canon. You know, Canon's version, and it's on the edges at 2.8. It's like you could tell just a little bit, but not that much. You bump it with like f4, you can't tell at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you have to really be pixel peeping, like to really like take a look and be like, oh wow, I can't. It's getting a little bit softer here near the edges, but it was phenomenal. Without the extender, it's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah, I found the same thing, and that also when you consider kind of the price point of these two lenses,
That's $3,000 cheaper.
Yeah, I mean we're talking
It's-
like
it's three- yeah,
almost
it's-
50% of the cost of the Canon, and you have a varying focal length.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, because action does happen fast, you know, and you know when like you said when the lions were chasing the wildebeest in that scene, it's like there's if you had the 300, you'd be limited to that one particular, you know, focal length and that one particular crop. But the action is happening. I mean, the wildebeest were running around the Jeep. You know what I mean? And so it's like some got really really close, some got really really far, and then just the amount of variety I was able to capture in that scene with that focal length is huge.
So fantastic image quality, great focal length variety in it. Now let's talk about your experience of putting on the extenders. So we have the Canon extenders. We have a 2x extender, and also what is this? The 1.4.
Yeah.
How was it when you put these on?
So I didn't really find myself using the 1.4 very much. It just caused an in between, you know, like it wasn't enough, you know. I had one because you have to realize how much quality you're sacrificing in general when you put on an extender. It's almost like you reduce clarity by like, you know, 50 points or something like that. It looks pretty, hazy. And the other issue was trying to calibrate it so it would focus correctly. It kept back focusing a lot on both extenders.
I see.
So, you know, you start aiming for the animal's noses, you know, just so you can get the eyes.
Yeah.
It was kind of to that extent. And then, you know, I'd bump it up to like f7.1, you know, sometimes just to make sure I got the sharpness out of it that I needed. that was the main thing. I mean, the whole concept of it stopping down. I mean, there's plenty of light out there, so that wasn't a big deal. Like, you know,
Yeah,
how it
because when you
automatically
put
takes
on this goes down to f4, right?
Yeah,
and
and
then
that one
this
goes to
goes
5.6.
to 5.6.
Yeah.
So basically, your minimum or your maximum aperture goes from f2.8 to on this one it goes one stop higher to f4,
Right.
and then on this one it goes to 5.6. So
Right.
you're letting in quite a bit less light with the extenders.
You are, but at the same time, you know, you don't really have to worry about the depth of field because you're zooming in at 600, you know,
Yeah.
on this, and you know, it's looks just as shallow. I mean, you can't tell.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
600 millimeters.
Yeah, it goes up 600. But you know, surprisingly, like if I went back again, you would need more than 600. I mean, when you're going for birds, I mean,
Yeah.
all you bird photographers out there know this for sure. Yeah, you need sometimes you need more.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I
But
can
I thought
totally
I'd
see
be
that.
fine with 600, but I was pretty surprised. I'm like, wow, you can actually use a lot more than 600 out there. You know?
Yeah,
So-
that's where also like maybe having a camera body that has extreme
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
amounts of resolution would definitely help you because you could
Yeah.
capture more resolution and crop in. If like I would think my ideal combination for a shoot like that would be a Sony A7R paired with that.
That's so funny you
7300.
mentioned that. That's actually one of the points I was going to make, you know, in this conversation was wishing I had two cameras.
Yeah.
And yeah, the A7 would have been perfect because there's so many scenes where it's like, you know, if you're not shooting close up on an animal and you're cropping in tight, then you're trying to kind of capture the scenery, right? And retain the highlights in the sky, bring it up, and dynamic range. Like, I mean, there's so many scenes. Like, you know, there's a scene here that where the hyenas they're all eating. You know, what wasn't their kill. Hyenas don't kill. They're just you know
Scavengers.
Oh yeah, they just pick up the scraps. But anyways, and there's a beautiful sunset behind them and everything. You know, beautiful sky and everything. And I was able to do it with the Canon because there was like slightly overcast that day.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a hassle to like be like, okay, I'm gonna pop off this gigantic lens, pop on my 24-70, you know,
Yeah.
okay, and then something exciting's happening. You know, maybe they're ripping apart the animal now. It's like, okay, I want to get back in and zoom in, and
Yeah.
then you don't get that. You can't. I mean, it's just hard to switch back and forth with such a big lens, you know, on your monopod. It's just a hassle. And good thing Yvette was there. My wife, she was awesome. I'd be like, okay, hold this, and then she just grabbed the monopod. She knew exactly what I was going for. She'd cap it, you know, and I go on 24-70, pop up a few shots, and I'd be okay, back, and I'd sit there like just, you know, laying down or whatever I'm doing in my position. And she just kept handing it back and forth. But you know, ideally, you would have two cameras for
I
sure.
mean, I would think that if you are going out there to get professional images, you definitely would need an assistant to help you just
Yeah.
navigate and quickly move between pieces of gear and so forth. So that is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, how did you feel like, I know this, when I've, you know, most of my experiences in shooting portraits, people, environmental portraits and that kind of stuff, is dealing with people. I know when I've shot other things, like when I was, you know, on the field shooting a football game,
Right.
it was so completely different. I was like, man, I'm good at this kind of photography. I should be able to do this, no problem. But then you start doing it and you're like, holy cow, this is completely different than what I've done before, anticipating the
Yeah.
movement and where the action is going to happen. Did you find that with this? Was it?
You know, obviously there are like a lot of elements that I wasn't familiar with, but you know, that was actually one thing I really was appreciative of. Like, and this is not to promote wedding photography or anything like that. Obviously, all types of photographers have their own, you know, particular skill set. But you know, I remember when we first started, we talked about how, you know, training for shooting weddings, all that kind of gave us a little bit of commercial work, you know, in terms of shooting the venues, all that stuff, a little bit of product work and shooting the shoes, the jewelry and all that, and then portrait work, obviously,
Yeah.
et cetera, you know, a little bit fashion, you know.
The wedding day itself is kind of that.
It's
a mixture of
it is,
every
it
type of
is.
photography.
And I really appreciated that training, you know, like just from all the weddings that we've shot, you know, working under pressure always, and
Yeah.
locking focus, recomposing, all that stuff that we always do, switching our focus points that, you know, non-stop throughout the day. Those are really, really helpful. And other elements of like using natural light, you know, like so many times, like you would, like there's a scene that I remember in particular where like there was a leopard, you know, and he was in a tree, and the sun was behind him, you know, with all the branches and everything, and it was beautiful, you know, like it was amazing, you know, and that's the side I wanted to shoot from, you know, like knowing that, you know, shooting in the light, just, you know, exposing a little bit brighter for the leopard itself would give that nice airy look, you know, behind him with all the trees, kind of bulk it out, and
Like a leopard portrait.
leopard porch, exactly. It was really, yeah, you know.
Orange County style.
It was beautiful. Yeah, I gave him direction and everything. I told him, look down, show me your teeth. You know, he did it. It's phenomenal. But yeah, things like that. Just kind of knowing which side to shoot. You know, in terms of like the lighting and all of that, and then knowing like, you know, using compression. You know, that's something that we do a lot at Lin and Jersa. You know, like using our lens. You know, taking advantage of our different types of lenses and using them. You know, for the main purposes, Eventually, I'd ask the driver to stay a little bit farther away, that way we can get some nice compression on the background and all
Sure.
that. Which is,
And
by the
not
way,
have
a good
the,
tip.
Leopard jump
Good
into
tip. If you guys go on a safari, tip your drivers. No, seriously, like $100. That's all for like 3 days. So it's like $30 a day, and you get your own Jeep. I don't know if
pretty
that
awesome.
doesn't apply everywhere, but a lot of places we went, we'd be like, we're going to, because it obviously is frustrating for a photographer, for us, when someone says, like in this leopard example, hey, let's go shoot from the sun side, and then
Yeah.
there's actually an example of that, and you can see, there's just shadows all over the leopard from all the branches,
Yeah.
and it's not even lighting, and because they're, on the other side, they were getting silhouettes. So actually, at one point, I did offer some advice, and, very kindly, I'm like, let me see your camera really quick. Like, okay, give it to me. I turned it to manual mode, dialed in the settings for them. Like, oh my gosh, I can see the leopard. It was pretty funny.
See the light now.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But
That's
just
awesome.
a small quick tip.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I imagine getting close to the leopards would provide them opportunities to jump into your Jeep.
Absolutely.
And then you'd have blood. When guys
Then
wanted
you
to see
have blood, but not the right type of blood. Yeah.
Okay. So, all in all, this seems like a fantastic experience. Again, it kind of reiterates that lens is really quite an incredible lens.
It is.
In combination. And so, definitely a lens to look into.
Yeah.
It's not cheap by any means. It's $3,600, but compared to what you're getting and what other options are out there, I mean, it is an extremely good value.
I 100% stand behind it. Like it is amazing. Everything about it. Like I was so surprised, and it compares like it for the price. You can't beat it. There's
Yeah.
nothing out there that can even come close to it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your
Of course.
experience with us. And hopefully we'll see you in a lot more videos.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Now, if you guys like this video, please feel free to share it with your friends. Click the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find more information on all the products, everything that we talked about here on the actual website. Just click the article link in the description below. It'll take you to the website where you can find tons more information, images, and so forth from Justin's trip. My name is Pi.
And I am Justin.
We'll see you all in the next video.
All right. Why are you sitting so close to me?
This is how you're supposed to sit. If we're not this close, it looks like there's... I could get even close here.
Oh, thanks, Pi. Oh, best friends. Besties. Chalk, can you get him off me?
Up.
Up.
Pepper. Move your finger. No. Loosen up. Loosen up.
Ow, that's my gum.
What's up, everybody? My name is Pi. And you're supposed to say...
My name is
My
Justin.
name is Justin. Yeah.
My name's Justin.
Okay.
And this is Pi. And that's Joe behind the camera.
What's up, everyone? My name is Pi.
And I am Justin.
And welcome to Gear Talk here
One
on
time.
SLR Lounge.
It's just so funny. Go ahead.
Why is that so funny?
Because I said it really funny. I'm like, I'm Justin.
It's good though. I like
All right, go ahead.